Jaime and the Jet. By Dennis Drayton. I particularly like the very authentic color scheme, Jaime said over the hood of the little jet. The cockpit of the Cessna T-37 was no higher than the head of a short man, and neither Jaime nor Graves were short men. The man who called himself Graves took the unlit cigar out of his mouth and looked at the wet end. Well, you did say your client was a collector, so I figured he'd like something restored to the military configuration. Oh, he'd like that very much, Jaime said cheerfully. Inside, he was sick with worry and fear. The jet looked, well, too authentic. A Citation jet whistled past, taxiing out towards the runway, and the racket gave Jaime time to gather his thoughts. He was standing on the left side of the jet, and just to his right was the port of a 7.62mm minigun fairing. The Jefe expected to buy the machine gun pod separately outside the USA. How lucky it was that this jet just happened to have the machine gun pod and the correct multi-barreled machine gun installed. Jaime was paid so well, not just because it was a high-pressure job where mistakes could get you killed either by business rivals or by the boss, but because he was very good at whatever he did. Working for a criminal enterprise did not mean doing slipshod work or getting greedy or lazy. Even bad things were worth doing well. Jaime approached all his business dealings from a realistic point of view, and if something seemed too good to be true, it almost always was. He had specifically asked to see a T-37, not an A-37, because there was no way anybody would grant an export license for a minigun. And yet, here was an actual A-37 attack jet. As if the North American federales had rumbled him and wheeled out an actual Air National Guard ground attack plane to entrap him. Is that port side tire soft? Jaime said, leaning forward with both hands on the nose of the little jet and looking around the windshield. What? No, Graves said, but he looked around at the other wing, and Jaime slid his fingers across the well of the gun port unobserved. Jaime looked at his blackened fingertips, smeared with soot. He pulled out his handkerchief with his clean hand and wiped his face and then casually wiped his hands, folding the telltale black stain on the inside. A ground attack plane, supplied so hurriedly that they hadn't even had time to clean the powder stains off the machine guns after the last test firing. This is all most satisfactory, Jaime said with a heartiness he didn't feel. I will convey the good news to my client. How long will you be holding it? A cunning look entered Graves's eyes. Well now, Mr. Cortez, I reckon such a fine example will get snapped up instantly if we put it out to auction. Sure it would, Jaime thought. Unique item, pristine ground attack aircraft, property of one careful male owner, Samuel Uncle. Entries for the auction close Friday morning. I'd say you'll need to wire us a deposit by then. I'll get right on it, Jaime said. I might even have an answer by tomorrow morning. Graves looked coy. I look forward to seeing you then, he said cordially, and they shook hands. Not if I see you first, Jaime thought. He had a private charter on this very airfield, with clearance as far as Mexico City this afternoon, and he was going to use it.